Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope your first game week went well, and if it didn't, it doesn't matter. It's only the first game week. We have got so long to go for celebrations and disappointment. I got off to a really good start and I'm over the moon and embracing it because I know game week 2 is going to destroy my rank without any Liverpool assets. So let's have a look at how I did and what my plans are for the next game week. First team review of the season, and this is how we did. So 87 points in total, overall rank of 128,025. Ridiculous. I was aiming for the top 2 million. The annoying thing is it's very fine margins. So a couple of points either way would have absolutely thrown me into the millions, but I'm taking it. I'm really, really happy that we've come off to a strong start, but there is so little in it at the moment. I'm not going to get too excited. I know that I'll be back in the millions soon enough and then have to work my way back here. So let's enjoy this while it's here. Looking at my team. So first of all, we have Yelena in goal. If you watched my team selection video, you'll know that I originally had Pickford. I was fully on board with the Pickford train. I was making my justifications in every single video. He stayed a constant in every single team selection I did. And then I do a live stream, well, not a live stream, I do a stream with Ellie, which I will link down below in the description. We do a weekly stream together, and she was talking about having Yelena in goal for the United defence. And then I realised when I took Shaw out, I had no United coverage whatsoever. And I panicked and I brought Yelena in at the last minute, and I'm so pleased I did. It was really impressive. He was very lucky to get 9 points considering how the game ended. Definitely should have been a penalty. And this was one that I had a tweet ready to go to celebrate having him in goal. And then when that happened at the end, I thought, you know what? This is not going to be one that we're going to celebrate. We will just take the points, be pleased with them. But nevertheless, he kept a clean sheet. He picked up the bonus and save points. So 9 points in total. I am very, very pleased with that. I thought I was going to get absolutely annihilated in this game because I don't have Bruno Fernandes. But we did okay and went for the right goalkeeper. So I'm very pleased with how that came out. And then we have my defence. Let's start off with Estepinian. Now, I have given him a very tough time. I said the only reason I was picking him was because everyone else had him. It was a whole EO argument. I was very nervous to go without. I'm so pleased I put him in, and I take back everything I said. He's an amazing player. If I didn't have him now, I'd be looking to bring him in for game week 2. He is on the ball. 7 points is so good for a defender, considering he didn't even keep a clean sheet and he picked up a yellow card. We got attacking returns. He got an assist and he got 3 bonus points. He is looking dangerous. I am so happy to have him on my team. If you don't have him, I definitely try and find a way to bring him in. The opening fixtures of Brighton are looking really good, and as a team, they're looking really, really strong. Brighton actually created the highest XG out of all teams over the weekend, and you can see it. Honestly, so impressed by how they've started off the season. Very, very pleased that he is in the team. And then we've got Saliba. So confession, I did act on the early team news. Originally had Gabriel. He is gone now. Apparently there are rumours that he's going to Saudi. I don't know how true that is, but that would make sense about why he was suddenly dropped. And it was very odd timing for the news to come out. So I completely understand the panic for everyone. I feel really bad for the people that actually went for Saliba in the first place, because he would have been a fantastic option. Very few people would have had him, but he also got an assist. So I'm glad that I transferred him in, but it did feel a bit like cheating. I don't know how I feel. I was on FPL Juice last night. I'll also link that down in the description. And Ash was giving me, well, everyone a hard time for bringing him in, saying he was cheating. But I did admit to it, so that's something. But yeah, so I went for Saliba over Gabriel just because of that early team news. Relieved that I did, but again, if you originally owned Saliba, I'm really sorry because yeah, you were on the ball and we all should have followed your guidance. And then we've got Chilwell. I am so happy with how Chelsea are playing at the moment. I thought the Liverpool game was going to be a bloodbath. I was nervous to watch it. It was so impressive. Our defence is still, the thing is, in pre-season, I wasn't that impressed with our defence. Now, it's looking a lot more solid. And the fact that we were playing against Liverpool and it was 1-1 draw, I did not see that coming. We are used to drawing with Liverpool, but considering how we were last season, then we were looking good pre-season, but I didn't want to get too excited. Then the opening fixture, I think, went really well. So I'm very, very happy. And then even happier, the fact that I've got Chilwell on my team and he got an assist. I'm annoyed that the goal was disallowed by VAR. I got a notification on my phone saying that he'd scored. Was absolutely over the moon. Glad that I went Chilwell over James. Glad that I even bought Chilwell in. I started him. Everything was looking great, and then it got disallowed. But at least he is there. He's attacking. He is playing so high up the pitch. I will put in this heat map here from Fantasy Football Hub. this is what you want from a defender. My goodness, that is so impressive. His XG is ridiculously high for a defender as well. He got an assist and he got 2 bonus points. Again, an amazing score for a defender that didn't keep a clean sheet. I'm so excited. All of my defenders returned this week, in game week 1. And if this carries on, I could really be stacking up the defence, although we'll come to my bench. My other defenders didn't do quite as well. But really happy with how the defence is looking. And then we come to the midfield, another change from my team selection. I was going on and on about wanting to bring in Trossard. I didn't care about the minutes. He was going to come onto the pitch, be explosive, get a return. And then I suddenly realised he's not going to get the minutes. And the cogs were turning slowly, and I thought it's not worth the risk, not at the start of the season. Initially, I put an Ødegaard, but I actually went for Martinelli because his ownership was lower. I can't remember what it was at the time of bringing him in, but currently it's at 15.4%, and Ødegaard's is at 23.3%, I think. So I kind of wanted a bit more of a differential in comparison to Ødegaard. Went for Martinelli. It paid off, to be honest. I'm really happy. He got an assist, I think. Did he? Let me just check. 2 seconds. I am back. I've checked. Yes, Martinelli got an assist. Was I expecting more? Probably. I didn't expect Nottingham Forest defence to be so good as it was. I thought they were going to concede about 5 goals. 2-1 is really impressive for Forest. Also, the opening fixture for Arsenal and at home. I definitely saw Martinelli potentially getting a goal and assist. But I'm happy with it. We got a return, so there is nothing to complain about. And then that brings us nicely into Saka. He scored a goal in their opening fixture. He's already had a price rise, so I'm pleased I brought him in when I did. Saka is a nailed attacker. He's on pens, he's taking corners, he's taking free kicks. He's my favourite Arsenal asset out of all of them. Martinelli, I do really like having on the team. I'd rather it was Trossard, but again, I've given myself the fear about his lack of minutes. Hopefully he will start starting games and maybe I can bring him in replacing Martinelli. I'm also concerned that Martinelli might be a rotation risk, and there are also some really good midfield options that I want to bring into the team at some point. And I think maybe if Saka is the one that I can fully trust to return every single game, Martinelli might have to move out the way for someone else. But it's still early days. We're in game week 1, approaching game week 2, so we will see what happens. I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. And then Marcus Rashford. I was very surprised by Man United's performance. I didn't actually watch the game. I thought it was going to be very painful because I didn't own Fernandes, and I was at the top of a lot of my mini leagues and a lot of people had Fernandes, and I thought that was going to completely ruin me, but it didn't. Man United stayed fairly quiet. I definitely expected Rashford to get some sort of goal or an assist. They really struggled against Wolves, and United actually conceded the most shots in the box this week after Sheffield United, which is not something I thought I'd be saying. In every single team selection that I did during pre-season, I said Rashford was my most nailed player. He was not going to be moving anywhere. I'm hoping it was just an off week and potentially we will see something better and what we kind of expect from Man United. But if not, Rashford may have to make room for someone else. And it could be an upgrade. If I've got 2 free transfers to play around with in game week 3, I could potentially bring in Salah and downgrade somewhere else as well. I'm not sure, but Rashford I'm keeping an eye on him. I'm not writing him off just as yet. And then Eze, definitely not writing him off. Yes, I am so disappointed. We didn't get a goal. We didn't get an assist. There was nothing. We got 3 points from Eze. Not what I expected at all in the opening fixture, but he is so unlucky not to get any returns. He had 8 shots in total, and that is the most out of any player this weekend. He's dominating on set pieces, and he just got unlucky, I think, this week. So I'm sticking with him. I still think he's a really, really good option. He is going for it. He's just not finishing. Hopefully we see something a bit better in the next fixture. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It was salt in the wound because I know that Mbomo was a very, very popular pick as well. And I do have a soft spot for a Brentford player, but I've gone with my gut on this one. I've gone with Eze. I'm hoping that I stick with him and something good will happen in game week 2. Actually, no, I'm benching him in game week 2. Something good will happen in game week 3. And then coming into my forwards, Haaland, he is back. I am so happy that I captained him. I captained him, by the way, hence the 26 points. I was actually, I was very tempted to captain Rashford, and I'm so relieved that I didn't. I followed the crowd. Haaland was one that in pre-season I just wasn't that blown away. I saw him playing the Community Shield. Again, there was nothing very impressive from him. He came off early and I thought maybe he's lost it. Maybe he is not the one that we need in our teams and actually we should go for Salah and then have more funds to spend elsewhere. I was wrong. Haaland is Haaland. It's just absolutely incredible. His ownership now is at 90.7%. That is absolutely crazy. if you have gone without Haaland, good luck, because I just think he is someone that you need to have in your team, unless he suddenly is really, really disappointing over the next couple of game weeks, which I just don't see happening. You have to go with him. It's too scary to go without, and he is definitely worth 14 million in my opinion. He got 2 assists and 3 bonus points, and I see him just constantly returning in every game week, similar to last season. So the captaincy will be on Haaland for the foreseeable future, as I don't have any other real alternative. Then we've got Ollie Watkins, and he did get me an assist, so I'm not going to be too harsh on him. But I was so disappointed by Villa's performance. I'll caveat this with the fact that they lost Buendia earlier in the week, and then Mings went off injured really early on in the game, which I think completely knocked their confidence. But Newcastle completely exploited their high line, and I don't understand why they didn't have a change in strategy. So it was a very frustrating game to watch. But Watkins and Diaby, I think this season are going to be absolutely incredible. Diaby is one to watch. I wish I'd have brought him into my team, but he was never even a consideration. But the pace on that man, him and Watkins doubled up. I'm hoping Villa are going to really, really improve on what was a terrible opening first fixture and just be scoring goals left, right and centre. They're such a strong team. They did so well last season. Yes, they've got injuries, but hopefully they can get some sort of cohesion and come back stronger. I'm definitely hoping that as well, because I brought Watkins in at the expense of not having Salah. So I'm really hoping for some sort of big haul from him in game week 2. And then we've got Pedro. He is so worth 5.5 million. He's an absolute bargain. I'm surprised there hasn't been a price increase. People haven't jumped on him yet. His ownership is fairly high. I think maybe around 27%. I'll put in the text here if I'm wildly off. But he is such a good asset to have. He scored a goal. I was very, very pleased that I brought him on because of that. And I love the look of Pedro, Matoma and Estepinian. Tempted to bring in Matoma at some point. He's looking very good and he was very, very strong. Obviously, we all wrote him off, took him out of our teams, and then now he has returned. So that will teach us for acting so hasty. Then we have got my bench. I benched Turner. I knew that Forest were not going to be keeping a clean sheet against Arsenal, even though they fought really, really well. Ben Mee was injured, so he didn't play. He got 0 points. I'm so pleased that I didn't start Cash. I didn't take a risk. He got -1. So that was a very good benching decision. And then Gibbs White only got 2. Again, they were playing Arsenal. I didn't really think he was going to get any returns. Although there was a part of me that thought he might get an assist. So I'm relieved that I didn't have many points on my bench. Glad I didn't bench boost. This is a very rare occasion where the bench has worked completely in my favour. So I will take it. And it was one of those game weeks I just got so lucky. And now we'll have a look at some players that are on my radar. First up, we have Maddison, and I discussed him in a video that I uploaded earlier this week about players to target and keep an eye on. Maddison was so impressive in Spurs' opening fixture, and he was one of those players that is just absolute FPL gold. I was watching him and I was really jealous that he wasn't in my team. I think my main dilemmas really with Spurs' midfield was Son, Richarlison or Maddison. I'm definitely going to be bringing in Maddison probably from game week 3. I didn't know what the future was going to be like with Spurs. I didn't know whether Kane was staying or going. Obviously now he's gone. And James Maddison is just a key part of Spurs' attack. Everything is running through him. He's on set pieces. We're not sure who's on penalties yet, but if he's also got penalties, it's a no-brainer. But I think there is a chance that they could go to Richarlison. I'm not entirely sure. But Maddison at 7.5 million, I think he's just a bargain. His ownership's only at 13.5% at the moment. I can see that skyrocketing. I think a lot of us are going to be bringing in James Maddison. So I want to get ahead of the curve. But they have got Manchester United at home this week. I think that is one of those fixtures that could go one of two ways. Either it will be a draw or Spurs will score early and then just kind of go downhill. But then Bournemouth and Burnley, I don't think I can go without James Maddison. So he will be coming in. Not sure who I'll be making room with, but we will see. Someone might disappoint me this game. We can get the chop. So James Maddison is very high up on the list. And then I touched on it, Diaby, so good. I thought his pre-season performance might be a fluke, and I was a bit worried that he was going to come from the Bundesliga and not be that great here. We've seen it before with like Timo Werner, although he came with Chelsea, and Chelsea seems to curse players sometimes. But I am very excited. And at that price point of 6.5 million, to score in the opening fixture in a game that was so tough, this man he's going places. I've called it there. His ownership's under 10%, but I think probably by game week 10 that is going to be a lot higher. Again, Villa's fixtures, they've got Everton, they've got Burnley. They've also got Liverpool in game week 4, which is a bit of a risky one. I'm not quite sure when I plan to bring him in. I mean, I could use my 2 free transfers in game week 3 and bring both of these players in, but I think I'm likely to maybe just use 1 free transfer, roll the other one, and then have 2 free transfers to play around with again. But these are my 2 transfer targets. Let me know in the comments if you agree or if you've got anyone else that you've got your eye on. And now I will show you how my team is lining up for game week 2. I'm rolling the transfer in this game week, but I am making some changes to the team. So first of all, I'm putting Yelena on the bench. I think the Manchester United Spurs game is going to be full of goals, and I can see both sides conceding. So I think it's safer to just take my win with Anana in last game week, put him on the bench, bring in Turner instead. The fixture's a lot easier. It's Forest's first home game of the season, and their defence is actually looking so much more solid than last season. The game against Arsenal, they only lost 2-1. It could have been a lot more. And I'm just feeling really, really positive about them, actually. If I can get a clean sheet with Turner, I will be absolutely delighted. On top of that, Sheffield United also have shown very little attacking threat so far, so it could work in our favour. The defence is staying exactly the same. And then another change in midfield. We're benching Eze. We are going to give him another chance in game week 3. But I think the fixture against Arsenal is too much of a risky one. Now I've said that, he's definitely going to score, and I'm a little bit nervous about benching him. But we will see. I have to bring in Gibbs White for that Sheffield United game. Forest have really improved their attack, and Sheffield conceded the most shots in the box out of all teams this weekend. So this is an ideal pairing. I'm really hoping Gibbs White absolutely goes for it. Him and Highway paired up, it could be a thing of beauty. So I'm hoping for some good returns there. And Gibbs White's ownership is also very low, so it would be really, really helpful to try and keep me with a decent rank. And then the front 3 is staying the exact same. I was quite tempted to bench Pedro and potentially bring in Cash, or as I said, maybe Eze. But the thing is, Brighton have got a very good history against Wolves. Last season, they won both fixtures. I think the first game was 6-0, and then the second game was 3-2. So I'm feeling good about Brighton against Wolves, and I think this could be a chance for Pedro to shine. And then on the bench, I've got Cash, which I'm a little bit apprehensive about. Everton at home, they could maybe keep a clean sheet, but judging by their performance last week and still not having Mings, I'm a little bit nervous to go there. So he's going to be benched. And then Ben Mee, I really would like to start him, but Fulham also are looking quite strong, and I can see some goals being conceded. So this is how my team is shaping up for game week 2. Do let me know in the comments if you think I should make any changes. I am 80% sure that I'll keep the bench this way, but there is the temptation to potentially bring on Eze, but I don't know. I think I'd quite like to take a punt on Gibbs White. I brought him in specifically for this fixture, and I think it could be a very, very good one for him. In game week 3, I will have 2 free transfers. The world will be my oyster in FPL terms, so stay tuned for that. And as always, good luck in this game week. Let me know any dilemmas or questions you have in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.